What would you do if you walked into your kitchen and found your maid with 2 babies? Who had your exact eyes? A discovery that would shatter everything you thought you knew about your family? He walked through his front door expecting silence. Instead, Rashid Al-Mansouri froze. From the kitchen came sounds that didn't belong. The soft babble of children, gentle shushing in a familiar voice. He didn't have children. He paid well to ensure his home remained peaceful and child-free. His white thobe rustled as he moved toward the kitchen, polished shoes clicking against marble floors. What he saw stopped him cold. There stood Amara, his maid of 6 months, in her blue uniform and yellow gloves, washing dishes at the sink. But strapped to her body were 2 babies. One nestled against her chest, another on her back in soft gray carriers. Before we continue this shocking story, let us know in the comments what time it is and where you're watching from. Now let's see what happens next. What is this? His voice cut through the kitchen air. Amara spun around, her dark eyes wide with panic. "Sir, you weren't supposed to be back until—" "That's your first thought?" His jaw tightened. "Not an explanation. You turned my home into a nursery and expect me to stand here quietly?" The babies stirred at his raised voice. Amara instinctively rocked them, murmuring soft words. She didn't stop her work, didn't drop her gaze. "They are my sister's children, sir." Rashid blinked, stunned for a moment. "So what? They're yours now. Since when do I pay you to bring children into my house?" "They are not usually here," she said quickly. "Only for 3 days. My mother was caring for them, but she fell. She's too old now to manage 2 babies alone. Not my problem." He stepped closer. 3 days of breaking the rules. "Do you understand how serious this is?" Amara straightened, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. I said they were my sisters because I panicked. I thought you'd fire me if I told the truth." She drew a breath. "They're mine." Rashid's jaw tightened. "Yours?" "And yours," she whispered. "Their father is you." Silence pressed in from the marble and steel. The baby on her chest turned toward his voice, and the world tilted, green eyes. That unmistakable Al-Mansouri emerald. His father's eyes, his grandfather's, the ones in every family portrait. His breath caught. "How old are they?" 11 months, she said, protective arms tightening around both carriers. "I've kept them away from this house. Today my mother collapsed. Again. The doctor says her heart can't manage 2 infants. I had nowhere else to go." The math struck like lightning. About 20 months ago, Khartoum, the conference, the night he'd spent with the woman he had never truly let go. Duty had torn them apart 12 years earlier. Chance had braided their lives together again. Their names? His voice thinned to a thread. Zara and Omar. He stared. Names, ages, eyes, everything aligned into a single, devastating truth. His hands trembled as the architecture of his life shifted, stone by stone. Soft footsteps approached. Layla appeared in the doorway, her hijab framing a face already reading danger. "Rashid, why are there She froze, gaze ricocheting from her husband's ashen face to Amara, to 2 babies with eyes she knew too well. The silence stretched to breaking. "No." Layla's whisper sliced the air. "Tell me this isn't what it looks like." Rashid couldn't form words. Memories surged. Amara, 12 years ago, luminous and laughing before obligation pried them apart. Amara, again, 20 months ago in Khartoum, when one night cracked the seal on everything he buried. "Mrs. Al-Mansouri," Amara said, shoulders square despite the carrier's weight. "When I took this job, I didn't know it was your home. The agency only said a wealthy family needed help. I was desperate. 5 months postpartum, no childcare, no stability." "You knew once you walked in," Layla said, voice rising. "You knew while you served our dinners, cleaned our room, watched me try to be enough. How could you do this to me?" For 11 years, Layla had prayed for a child. Clinics, procedures, an empty nursery that had become a quiet mausoleum for hope. And now another woman stood in her kitchen holding what seemed to be her husband's children. "I never wanted this," Amara replied. "Does this look like winning? I scrub floors 12 hours to buy formula. My back aches from carrying them. I kept them away from here because I respected your home." Baby Zara fussed. Amara soothed without breaking eye contact. "Today, I ran out of choices." Rashid found his voice. "You hid them from me." "You walked away before," she said softly. "I wouldn't let rejection be their first lesson. I told myself I'd disappear if I had to. But poverty laughs at pride." Zara whimpered again. The sound pierced the room's brittle quiet. "Look at them," Amara said, not pleading, insisting. "Really look." Rashid looked, and the resemblance struck like a blow. Not only those emerald eyes, but the stubborn set of baby Omar's chin, the tiny crease at the bridge of Zara's nose when she searched for a voice she knew. They look just like— Layla stopped, hand over her mouth. "Just like their father," Amara finished. "People say it wherever we go. Your eyes, your expressions, even how they curl their fingers when they sleep." Little Zara reached, tiny palm opening and closing toward the sound of him. The gesture cracked something inside his chest. "You've been here 6 months," he said hoarsely, "watching me, knowing. Knowing you chose duty over me once," Amara replied. "Afraid you'd choose reputation over them now." Layla stepped closer, tears bright and merciless. "Is it true, Rashid? Are they yours?" He looked at the woman he married for family honor, the partner who had endured 11 years of failures and grief. Then at the woman he had loved and lost, who had borne his children in silence. "Yes," he said. The word fell like a verdict. Layla's sob tore through the kitchen. The babies stirred at the sound, innocent witnesses to adult wreckage. "May I hold her?" Rashid asked, surprising himself. Amara hesitated, then unfastened the carrier. "She doesn't know you," she warned gently. But when he gathered Zara to his chest, her small body softened. The crying ceased. She stared up with those impossible eyes, and time avalanched. Pregnancy he hadn't shared, first smiles he hadn't seen, almost a year of moments he'd never get back. Something in the universe shifted, irrevocably. "She's beautiful," Rashid breathed, and Layla flinched as if he'd struck her. "They're good babies," Amara said, watching father and daughter with guarded hope. She has already unclipped the chest carrier. Zara rests in Rashid's arms while Omar still rides on her back. They sleep through the night, hardly ever cry during work. "I've been so careful not to disturb your peace." "Our peace?" Layla laughed bitterly. "What peace could we possibly have now?" She turned to Amara. "Did you plan this? Force your way back into his life by showing him what I couldn't give him?" The accusation hit like a slap. Amara's eyes flashed. "Plan this? Madam, I clean toilets for a living. I work 3 jobs to afford diapers. My hands are stained from chemicals. My back aches from carrying them everywhere. Does this look like the life of someone with a plan?" Baby Omar began to fuss on her back. She reached around to comfort him, never taking her eyes off Layla. "You want to know what I planned? I planned to disappear, to raise them far away where they'd never know their father abandoned them. But poverty doesn't care about pride, Mrs. Al-Mansouri. When you're desperate, you take whatever work you can find." "Why didn't you tell me?" Rashid asked, voice thick as he held Zara closer. "Because you walked away before," Amara said simply. "Because I couldn't risk them feeling that rejection. I'd rather they think their father was gone than know he chose not to want them." The words landed. Rashid had walked away. First from Amara 12 years ago, then from their night in Khartoum without ever looking back. "I didn't know," he said weakly. "You didn't want to know," she corrected. "There's a difference." In his arms, Zara cooed softly, fingers curling around his thumb with surprising strength. Layla watched her husband hold a child that wasn't hers, and something inside her shattered. 11 years of trying, hoping, praying. 11 years of empty cribs and negative tests. And now, living proof that the problem had never been him. "What happens now?" she whispered. Rashid looked up from his daughter's face, his eyes wet. "I don't know. But I can't pretend they don't exist. They're innocent in all this. And what about me?" Layla's voice broke. "What about 11 years of standing by you? What about every night I cried myself to sleep thinking we were broken together? The pain in her voice cut deep. Rashid stepped toward her, still holding Zara. Habibi, don't. She backed away. Don't call me that while you're holding a child that isn't mine. Amara spoke quietly. Mrs. Al-Mansouri, I expect nothing from him. I can leave tonight, another job, another city. You'll never see us again. But as she said it, little Omar reached toward Rashid, making soft baby sounds. The sight of his son, reaching for him broke something fundamental in Rashid's chest. No, he said firmly. No more running. No more pretending. He looked at Layla, stricken. These are my children. I can't walk away from them. Then what? Layla's tears fell freely. They live here. We become one big, happy family. The kitchen fell silent except for the baby's gentle sounds. 3 adults stood in the wreckage of secrets and lies, holding the future in trembling hands. Rashid shifted Zara slightly, freeing one small palm between them. Layla stepped forward and, with shaking composure, touched the tiny hand. The baby's fingers wrapped around hers. They shouldn't suffer for our mistakes, Layla said quietly. What do you mean? Amara asked, hardly daring to breathe. Layla's voice steadied. I mean they deserve better than secrets and shame. They deserve a father who claims them, education, medical care, everything children should have. She looked at her husband, pain and love warring in her eyes. I can't live with them under my roof. I'm not that strong, but I won't let them grow up wondering why their father abandoned them either. Layla, Rashid whispered, understanding blooming. A house, she said simply. Close enough that you can be their father. Far enough that I can heal. I'll handle the paperwork today, Rashid answered, subdued. Medical, legal, everything. Layla touched Zara's hand once more. They didn't choose this. They deserve love. She turned to leave. Don't make me regret showing mercy. After she left, the kitchen felt heavy with possibility and loss. In the foreground, Rashid held his daughter and looked down at her with a new, humbling sense of responsibility. Amara stood nearby, watching the doorway with gratitude and guilt. Slowly, she slipped off her yellow gloves, her bare fingers trembling with relief. Thank you, Amara whispered. Don't thank me yet, Rashid said, eyes on Zara's perfect face. We have a lot to figure out. But they'll never want for anything again, I promise. Later, in warm, golden light, Rashid cradled both babies, one on each side, while Amara stood beside him, still in her blue uniform, hope flickering in her eyes. He had spent a lifetime building an empire of money and power. Today, he finally began building something that mattered, a family. If this story of forgiveness and impossible choices touched your heart, hit like and subscribe for more tales of love, loss, and resilience. Now we want to know, could you have shown the same strength as Layla? Tell us in the comments.